So it's been about 4 months since Scopely took over Pokemon Go, which is a long amount of time. So today we're going to be discussing, have we actually seen changes to the game? Have we seen the ads pop up on the screen? Have we seen the monetization practices get put into place? And overall just discuss, did Scopely save Pokemon Go, or has it gotten worse ever since they acquired the company? Welcome back to another YAP session. In these videos here, we yap about a certain topic, and today I'm actually kind of excited to yap about this topic. I feel like I ran out of things to talk about recently, but it's nice to I don't know. This is an interesting topic and something I see people talking about all the time in the community, especially recently, because the fact that I like to say that officially, I don't want to say it, kid, like this is not guaranteed, but when a big company takes over, makes an acquisition or whatever, usually things don't change right away, right? It's a huge billion-dollar corporation. Niantic was a billion-dollar corporation. Scopely was a billion-dollar corporation. So everything we saw, like end of summer, because like Scopely, the acquisition, oh my God, wait, hold up. We're literally filming this video, and there's like do you see that? A chopper. There's a chopper. It's the Scopely chopper. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. That's cool though. It is the morning, by the way. It's 7 a.m. We're doing a beautiful sunrise YAP session, which I've never done before. So this is going to be nice to do. But anyway, Scopely took over on May 29th, which means the end of summer of Pokemon Go was most likely not really under Scopely's umbrella, under Scopely's leadership. So it's really interesting to see now, because I would like to say officially that the first season of Scopely's leadership was most likely what's the season we're in right now? What is it literally called? Whatever the season we're currently in right now, not Delightful Days. I don't even remember the name of the season. There's been so many seasons in Pokemon Go. Anyway, that is like the first season that Scopely's kind of been at the head of the charge. And the reason I say this is because things in Pokemon Go, things with these huge corporations usually take months in advance of planning. You look at things like, even just like the weekly events, the seasons we get, usually the season we're in right now is already probably fully planned out. We already have the save the dates. We know what event, what's happening when. So most likely right now, Niantic is actually preparing for the next season, the December, the winter season, or not Niantic, Scopely, and the Pokemon Go team is planning for that. So pretty much things become like in a huge advance. So when Scopely actually took over and the acquisition was confirmed, it still didn't mean that all the game decisions and everything that was changing in Pokemon Go was under the Scopely umbrella. So anyway, that's what we're going to be discussing about today. I'm excited to look into it and see what we're going to go ahead and talk about. One important thing to note is, I guess, how this whole acquisition did take place and what changes did take place. Good morning. So definitely going to be interested to talk about that. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of morning bikers coming by. Before we do get into it though, little update how I'm doing. Pretty good since the last week's YAP session. I'm actually recording this one on Monday. Goes out on Friday. So not much has happened. But I'm excited. I'm excited for everything coming up. September, as I said in the last YAP session, has been kind of was a chill month. And going into October so far, with the events that we do have confirmed, it seems like a pretty chill month as well. Usually October's always been one of those months with the banger events, and obviously we have Mega Rayquaza Raid Day, which I'm really, really excited for that event actually. But other than that, there's not too much craziness going on right now in Pokemon Go, in my opinion. Even with the Halloween events that are coming later this fall. Is it fall? This October. So anyway, I don't really have much to update you on. Things are good. It's a beautiful morning here. We're gonna get into it. Let's talk about if things have changed when Scopely took over or not. Okay, so funny enough, right after I ended that clip, a security guard came up to me and said I couldn't park there. So we had to come to a different, still very beautiful spot of the farm though. Like honestly, what a great day. Maybe more morning YAP sessions will make them happy. Will make them happen, not happy. Anyway, let's dive into it. I have a bunch of notes here, and let's talk about it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about here is the deal that was made. When Scopely took over, how did it all break down? And this is going to give us a good idea of how we know when changes were made into effect, and then we can take a look at the gameplay before and after the acquisition and decide if it's been better or worse, really, overall. So number one thing, so the deal included this, and this is very important to know, but Scopely pretty much bought the Niantic Games section of Niantic. So they didn't buy everything, they didn't buy Niantic, they bought the Niantic Games section, which means they bought a bunch of different games that Niantic had run. This deal included, obviously, Pokemon GO, which was probably the main reason they wanted to buy the game. I can actually also, let me just fix that, change that lighting a little bit. Other games they bought, Peridot, which I don't even know if that's still a thing. Pigman Bloom's a big one, NBA All World. I think those are like their three biggest, but there's other games too. Niantic has a bunch of different games. I know a lot of them kind of went bankrupt and they were trying to just turn the AR thing for every single game. I just can't, like, this is actually beautiful out here, but anyway, so they pretty much bought that. They also bought the teams that were running these games. So it's very important to note that Scopely, when they bought Niantic Games or whatever, and especially maybe like recently, all of this Pokemon Go has been running under the exact same team. So it wasn't a restructure. It wasn't a, hey, we're going to buy Pokemon Go. We're not going to buy your employees. We're going to put into place our own employees and then run the game, which if they had done that, not only would have it probably, like, Pokemon Go would have died, but you would have felt a much, much harsher change when the game was purchased. Most likely what's happening instead is they're purchasing the game, they're purchasing the entire team, and they're letting that team run the game the same way. So it makes for a much smoother change. So what means is most likely, and we don't know Scopely's endgame because then they were not in the company and all this is privated, but like how corporations, from what I understand, usually do is they buy the team, they do this, and then they slowly restructure to how they want the thing to go. Because at the end of the day, they're the boss man, the Scopely people, the executives, other people at the top, right? But they're not just going to go ahead and say, hey, we bought Pokemon Go, we're inputting our own team. No. So it's the same people right now who work on Pokemon Go that used to work on it at Niantic. Maybe there were some fires, maybe there were some cuts. I haven't heard about any of that, but overall, the team is the same. The live ops team, the team that runs the live events, the teams that runs the in-person events, the developers, all of this is the same. These people were purchased along with Pokemon Go. And it makes the most sense. It's going to make the smoothest gameplay transition, meaning that overall, the team, the strategists and all that stuff is going to be the same. This also includes like operations, tech, all this stuff. Like, you can't just take a game like Pokemon Go and just put it under and just wipe the team and input your own one in like a month. Like, that doesn't happen. So like if Scopely really wants to change anything and make things different for them and more in their way, it's going to probably be a slower transition. So pretty much Scopely runs the whole thing now. They run the game operations, they run the development, the events, the monetization, the content cycles, but it's still under the same people, specific people. Now, what has changed? What has changed is the executives, right? When a game is purchased, even if your Pokemon Go team is staying the same, the people who run the events, who strategize, all of this stuff stays the same, the decision makers at the end of the day are still going to be different, right? The people who, like John Hankey is the final say before on what Pokemon Go happens, but now there's a different final sayer. Now, we can't sit here and be like, okay, that means that, you know, the game is going to be run in a different direction, because based on the marketing I've seen and what Scopely has said, and now this is what Scopely has said, is that they understand how Pokemon Go was run. Pokemon Go was being run with very much success under Niantic as well, like in terms of a monetization and business perspective. So it's very clear that Scopely, my guess is that good business practices, Scopely people would come in and trust. They would trust the people who are running Pokemon Go already and be like, hey, you guys are doing a pretty good job. We're not going to go ahead and change anything for you guys. But still, that doesn't mean that at the end of the day, there is still a new person at the top in charge who, if they wanted to, could be like, hey, we want you guys to implement on-screen ads that flash up and pop up and you have to watch before you play the game. You know what I mean? Or like watch and you can earn Pokecoins, which is a huge popular thing in mobile gaming. I don't know if I would not like that. So anyway, So that's kind of like the whole thing. The team is the same. The people who run it the same. The people who strategize, who make the events, all of that stuff is the same. I would even say there's probably some executives from the Pokemon Go team that got moved along with it. Like I know Michael Stranka is a big the live games director. I'm pretty sure he got moved with it. Who probably has a big saying on where Pokemon Go goes. But anyway, the top head honcho is what's really, really changed here. So that's important to know. Okay, so Scopely, the official acquisition happened on May 29th, 2025, meaning they legally became the owner. So based on my predictions, what I see and what I guess is that number one, events from May 29th, when they officially became the owner of Pokemon Go, when the deal was finally closed, June 2025, which was Go Fest season, 100% that was still all the planning, everything that's happened during that, most likely events, all that stuff, that was all Niantic. There's no way that Scopely comes in, takes over, and the head honcho is like last minute, no, we're changing everything about Go Fest. No, that's just not how corporations work. So all of June was probably planned under Niantic. All of August, or all of July as well, planned under Niantic. Now August, we then had August come around. I would argue that the whole summer season was already planned under Niantic. It just makes sense that Niantic plans things many months in advance. And also, one big thing that I need to discuss here is going to be the Max Finale event. A lot of people are saying that once Scopely took over May 29th, we then saw 2 months later the Max Finale event come to Pokemon Go. And it was a monetization specialist. I don't think we've ever seen a Pokemon so expensive in Pokemon Go. To get Eternatus, you need so many candies, all this stuff. But what I will argue is that I still think that the whole Eternatus thing was run under Niantic. First of all, because the whole marketing for the Go Fest this season was very, very framed around Eternatus. It was framed around Generation 8. So it was most likely we were getting Eternatus no matter what. It's starting to get sunny now. We were getting Eternatus no matter what. And I think that the main Go Fest, the big events, are planned even more in advance. Right now, they're planning Kalos Tour. We already have a date for Kalos Tour, and that's 5 months out. So my guess is that the Max Finale event was planned way, way before Scopely even took over. Now, is it possible at the last second, or in June or July when Scopely took over, the head honcho was like, hey, we want to make more money off this event, and maybe Niantic was planning on making Eternatus just like a regular raid boss and not that much candy, and then that we'll never know. But my guess and my gut feeling is that I don't think corporations move that fast, that the whole Max Finale event and that whole monetization smorgasbord, I'm going to say, was planned under Scopely. I actually do still argue that was planned under Niantic. I think they were trying to do something new. Now, what I can say is that September and fall onwards, once we hit September, this is all under Scopely. In my opinion, this is all under Scopely. If Scopely took over on June 1st or May 29th, that means June, July, August were all the first 3 months of Scopely running the game. And that means that they were most likely, that's when they were starting to plan the next season in Pokemon Go. Usually they plan the next season once the ongoing season is going on. From what I understand, especially based on the save the dates and all that stuff. So pretty much what I can say right now is that I don't want to confirm it, but most likely every single event going down right now has been planned under a Scopely executive. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say, which means that we're truly getting the first Scopely designed gameplay. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate, the team that runs Pokemon Go is the same. It's the same people, all this stuff. And based on, what has happened in Pokemon Go, I can 100% see that, because I feel personally yes, there has been some changes being made, and I'm going to point them out on different things that I'm not a huge fan of, but overall, I don't think Pokemon Go has taken a full 360 like everyone was saying. Was I saying it? I don't even remember what I was saying. I think I just said we'll wait and see what happens, but I think a lot of people said, oh, it's under Scopely now. We've seen how they monetized the game before. We're going to get it full 360. Now, that's not to say that, like I mentioned before, when corporations take over big companies, things move slowly, right? We could slowly see over the next year or so a restructure, certain people who used to work for Niantic being replaced by people that Scopely hired directly. We could 100% see a full restructure. But we can only discuss based on what we've seen now, and I think it's pretty clear, and I think we can make a pretty clear evidence statement that Scopely's plan was not to just take Pokemon Go and just instantly turn it into a monetization machine. Yes, they made a lot of money off of Eternatus and all that stuff, but it's hard to say whether that was under Niantic's planning or Scopely's planning. Even if it was under Niantic's planning, I'm sure Scopely didn't mind. Anyway, how much influence Scopely has on this is definitely up in the air, but here are some noticeable differences, in my opinion, that I think that we've definitely noticed, I guess, based on things. Okay, first of all, differences. Number one thing, September Go Pass got the lucky, not the lucky trinket, it got switched to the timed incubator. Okay, so that's a difference. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I know a lot of people, I'd argue it's a bad thing, especially because of the fact that I think all players have been asking for a second unlimited free incubator for hitting level 50 for a long, long time. We were always saying, hey, could we, like, it would be an amazing feature that if you work your way to level 50, or now it's going to be level 80, or the highest level in Pokemon Go, you should be rewarded with a extra permanent incubator or some extra permanent item. Maybe you get an extra free raid pass every single day because you've put in the time, you've worked for it, right? You've hit the highest level in Pokemon Go. Niantic, or I guess you could say Scopely now, but my guess is that the hard thing to say is that, like, items like the timed incubator, I don't know if you guys can hear all these geese, but they're actually going crazy right now. They're all going south. But it's kind of insane because we actually have 29 degrees Celsius today, and it's October 6th, which is like the hottest October we've ever had. Global warming is crazy. Anyway, what was I talking about? I was talking about the timed incubator. The item like a timed incubator for me makes me think, like, I don't think that Scopely took over and was like, hey, we really want to make this timed incubator thing happen. Like, I think an item like a timed incubator has probably been in development for a long, long time. Now, maybe this item was going to come out for completely free, and then Scopely took over, and the executives was like, no, we're not going to give that out for free. And this is like the big issue, right, with a lot of this, is it's just speculation, and it's like how much of the game design is, like, I don't want to say like greedy monetization strategies, but like just being like, oh no, they were going to give that out for free, but then Scopely took over and was like, no, actually we're going to make that paid. But anyway, the timed incubator was an item that we really, really wanted. It got locked behind the Go Pass, meaning you had to pay money to get an extra free incubator that only lasted the month. Now, again, cool feature, but it is a monetization practice, and it did get replaced with the Lucky Trinket. Now, is it the same value as the Lucky Trinket? I would argue yes. I think Lucky Friends and the Lucky Trinket is good, but I think, honestly, it depends if you hatch a lot of eggs or not, but an incubator that lasts a whole month and you can use it as many times as you want is better than hitting Lucky Friends guaranteed with one person, in my opinion. I think that's just a clear, better value. Like, the timed incubator is like... The timed incubator, well, you know, the Lucky Trinket is pretty good too, but the timed incubator is like buying, like, I don't know, 10 incubators. Again, it depends how many eggs you hatch, but you get a lot of incubations out of a free incubator that lasts a month and a little bit, versus just something that makes you hit Lucky Friends, which you could just open a gift. And when you hit Lucky Friends, you're most likely just going to get a garbage IV anyway. You could get a Shundo, I guess. Maybe I'm just like a pessimist on the lucky trades because I did 189 lucky trades before I got my first Shundo. And that's why I don't like the Lucky Trinket, because I've used too many. But anyway, so the timed incubator, that is definitely a change because we were getting Lucky Trinkets in all the Go Passes. Also, what's new this month is the Go Pass is giving out Pokecoins. Now, I believe you get, is it 1,000 Pokecoins from the free page of the... I'm actually just going to pull it up right now because I don't want to misquote it. Anyway, the new thing this month for October is they're changing how the Go Pass works. So Terrakion is obviously going to be in the past, but you do get Go points to rank up, and you can get Pokecoins this month. Where is it? Does it say? You obviously get the bonuses, but you get 400 Pokecoins for the free page, and then you get 1,400 Pokecoins, including the 400 on the paid page, which is nice. 400 free coins. We've always asked for a different way to get Pokecoins in Pokemon Go, and it's nice that they're actually giving free Pokecoins, not including gymming, through the free Go Pass. And if you purchase the main one, which is not cheap, I don't think. How much is it? It's $8 USD. So you get 1,000 Pokecoins, which I believe is like the same amount you get for paying $8 USD if you just bought Pokecoins. So I don't know. I know a lot of people like the premium items and all that stuff from the Go Pass, which I think is good as well. But I think giving out free Pokecoins is amazing. Maybe it would be nice if like the free page had free Pokecoins for the free-to-play players, and then the paid page had like a cool item like a lucky trinket, a timed incubator, maybe a bottle cap. I hope we get free bottle caps for a Go Pass at one point. It's really getting sunny out here. But anyway, point is, definitely a change, definitely something that I've noticed. It's more similar to Fortnite. If you know Fortnite, you get, what's their Fortnite? V-Bucks? You get V-Bucks back from buying the Battle Pass every month, and then you can buy the next season's Battle Pass with your V-Bucks. I think that would be really, really cool if Niantic allowed it so that you could use your Pokecoins that you get in one pass, and you could use it to buy the pass next month. That would be a really, really nice feature. I guess I understand why they don't do that, because then people would just like stop buying or so they would like stop spending more money. But also like it would help game retention so much if you could just guarantee get the Battle Pass every single month, because I think the Battle Pass in itself gets people to play daily because they want to hit their points so they can get up to the higher ranks, and especially when the higher ranks get you different bonuses as well. Definitely a change. Definitely a change. I'm just going to say it's a change. I don't want to say if it's good or worse, because again, some people in the comments are going to be like, oh yes, Pokecoins are better, but then some people are going to be like, no, I missed the lucky trinket, or bring back the timed incubator. Anyway, the second thing that is actually a big thing that has happened is things being locked to the Go Pass and bonuses being locked to the Go Pass. So this one's going to relate to the October Halloween events, which the details are out now that you can check out. But if you don't know, in the past, I'm trying to pull up the October events, but in the past, different features during the Halloween event, last year's Halloween event, the bonus of, I believe, let me pull it up here. I believe it's 3 times catch XP. Or no, what is it? 2 times catch candy. Leak Duck Halloween 2020, what is it, 2024? I want to look at 2025. Or I want to look at 2024. So Halloween 2024, the bonuses were 2 times catch candy, increased chance of getting Candy XL when catching Pokemon, and increased shiny odds. But this month, they've actually locked those bonuses to the Tier 1 of the Go Pass. So once you hit Tier 1, you get 2 times catch candy. Once you hit Tier 2, you get 2 times chance of getting Candy XL. And then once you hit Tier 3, you get some amazing bonuses of more candy for transferring Pokemon, more candy for more Candy XL for transferring Pokemon, 2 times transfer candy. So you kind of have to unlock bonuses during the Halloween event this year, which is something completely different. Last year, we just got those bonuses for free. Now, I would argue that we are getting, like, if you hit Tier 3, you get 2 times transfer candy, which is a bonus we didn't have last year for free. So, like, you have to work for your bonuses, but if you work harder, you're rewarded by getting even better bonuses than if we were to just get the bonuses straight out, if that makes sense at all. But that's a different thing, right? Like, it seems like, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but it seems like Niantic or Scopely is really leaning towards getting people to play and like motivating people to play. Another thing we saw is the collection challenge during the Steel Skyline event was locked, or was it the collection challenge, or was there a research? Something was locked around the Go Pass as well. Was it the timed research? Let me see if I can pull it up here. But it just seems like different things are being locked behind the Go Pass. Oh yeah, no, the collection challenges. You have to collect, oh no, those are the global challenges. Oh yeah, the global challenges. I guess that's a little bit different, but like the global challenges unlock bonuses around the world. AKA, like, we don't get all the bonuses from the Steel Skyline event unless everybody in the world works together to hit, I think it was nice, great, or excellent throws. And then, only then did we unlock the bonuses. So things are not being straight up given to players now. They're actually having to be worked towards to get. Now, I'm not a hater on this. I don't mind this as long as the bonuses are worthwhile. If you're being like, okay, hey, these bonuses were free before, but now you just have to work for them, no dice. I'm not taking that. But if you're like, hey, these bonuses were free before, but now you have to work for them. But if you work even harder, you unlock even better bonuses than what we were to give you for free. For example, if it's like, normally during Halloween, they give you 2 times catch candy for free, but during the Go Pass, if you hit rank 1, you get 2 times. If you hit rank 2, you get 3 times candy. If you hit rank 4, you get 4 times candy. If that's the direction the game goes, I'm not going to be a hater on it. I'm going to like it because it just motivates, I guess, skill expression, or like rewards trainers for playing. I think anything that rewards trainers for playing hard is going to be good. Now, my biggest hated change, in my opinion, from Scopely's takeover and this fall, and I guess it happened in the summer a bit, was the wild spawn list being hidden, so people have to play to find out. If you've watched my tips videos, you've seen me complain about this, but I've talked about how back in the day, or not back in the day, like literally 3 months ago, Niantic, when they announced event, was like, hey, so is spawning in the wild. That's not a Pokemon. Or sorry, like Pikachu, Joltik, blah, 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 blah. These are the Pokemon spawning in the wild. These are going to be your rare spawns. Let me know. Go play the event if you want to play it. But now the wording is different. Like looking at the most recent announced event, what they say is this Pokemon, this Pokemon, this Pokemon, and more are spawning in the wild. They used to do this with the blog posts for the seasonal spawns, but then they went ahead and changed it. But what's an event I can look at? Like the Harvest Festival event. What they say is wild encounters. May encounter event-themed Pokemon in the wild, including Miltank, Combi, Smoliv, and more. You might even encounter an Applin. So they say, okay, these 3 Pokemon are spawning in the wild and more, and this is your rare spawn. They don't announce the full rare spawns. Now, I've given this feedback. Plenty of creators have given this feedback to the Niantic team saying, hey, no one likes this. You know what I mean? Like, why are you not telling us what is spawning during an event and what to expect? Now, I understand why. The whole reason is, again, going back to the idea that they don't tell us why. People are going to want to find out, and they're going to want to go ahead and play and push themselves to go figure out what's spawning in the wild. And also, there's also that art of discovery of it. Niantic used to, or Pokemon Go used to have this a lot, where people, like, they were pretty secretive about what shiny was being released during what event. So people would have to go out and hunt and try to find the new shiny. And it made for a very exciting thing in the community where everyone was like, oh, wait, is this the new shiny? Is this the new shiny? And someone would get like, oh my God, this is the new shiny. And then everyone would start hunting that shiny. Now they don't do that. They tell us what new shinies to get people excited. But I think this is what Niantic is, or Scopely, sorry, I got to get that right. This is a video about how Scopely taken over. This has got to be the last time I mess that up. But anyway, that's what they're trying to do. Be like, oh, what's in the spawns? What's in the wild? What's this? Now, I think the problem with this is that wild spawns have become, like, I don't want to say like overrated, but like, I don't think it's enough motivation nowadays for trainers to be like, oh, Dino's spawning in the wild. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's a rare pseudo-legendary Pokemon, I don't want to say like our brains have been like dopamine like cooked, but like to get Pokemon Go trainers excited in 2025, it takes a lot more effort than what you could do in 2016. In 2016, you put Dragonite in the wild, everyone's going after it. In 2025, you put Dragonite in the wild, yes, there's probably some players going after it, but most people have Dragonite by now. They don't really care. So like, I don't think wild spawns is enough to really motivate trainers to really go out and grind. So that's 100% something. And then next up, more boxes in the shop. I don't know if this is like a legit thing or not, and you can let me know, but I have like 6 boxes in the shop consistently now since the start of the new month, since September. They have the 3 daily boxes, and then there seems to be like up to 3 like boxes focused on the events that like for example, there's like a Max Particle box right now in the shop. Now that just might be because the Steel Skyline event is going on or whatever, but it seems to be where there's like more boxes appearing in the shop. Now that's just like, maybe that's just not true, but that's just another thing I noticed. And then final thing I'll say is less events compared to last month. Now, I don't know if this is part of a monetization thing. I don't know if this is part of just the way Pokemon Go flows, and you know, the summer season is hype, so they put a lot of events, and then come the fall, there's just like less events. Don't know why, but I have noticed that we no longer have the double event weekends where there's like, you know, a max battle weekend going on and then a community day, or like 2 events back to back. Like, we don't have that this month. It's usually 1 event a weekend, which I think is a good amount. You know, you have this weekend is Solosis Calm Day. Next is Mega Rayquaza Raid Day. The next one after that is, I'm not 100% sure, but there's an event. There might not be. That'd be crazy if there wasn't. But anyway, no longer back-to-back events. Even the weekly events, we only have like 2 to 3. it's a little bit lighter. Now, again, I can't speak, and we're going to have to wait and see if this is just a thing that Scopely is doing and they want to have less events, or the Pokemon Go team have been like conducted by Scopely, or maybe they're just trying out less events because they've heard the feedback of event overload. Maybe it's just because it's not the summer, and during the summer, Pokemon Go is a popping game. Everyone has nice weather. They want to get outside. Come the fall, people are not going to be as motivated, so they don't want to put as much effort into events no one's going to show up for. Don't know why, but I have noticed that September is a much more chill time. Even October is a much more chill time than you know, June, July, August, because that was just madness. I've never seen so many events happening every single week. So anyway, those are all the changes that happened. However, there are things that haven't changed in my opinion. So let me go find a new spot. Let me sit down. Let's talk about what has stayed the same that I think a lot of people expected to change. Look how many birds. Look how many birds there are. That's crazy. There's so many birds. Birdies. Oh my God, they're so loud. They're coming for me. Okay, can you see me? I hope you can see me. You can see me? Okay, good. Okay, it's a little bit wet. My butt is wet, but it's fine. Let's talk about things that have stayed the same, things that haven't really changed. These birds are going crazy. These geese, the Canadian geese. Things that haven't changed. Okay, number one, pay timed research with every event. This is something that Niantic put into place a long time ago. I called it the ticket problem in Pokemon Go. I have a whole video where all of a sudden, once remote raid passes got nerfed, Niantic went with the monetization strategy to make money of dropping a timed research or some sort of ticket. Sometimes it gives you bonuses. Sometimes it gives you a timed research and extra encounters. Sometimes that's mostly all it gives you. The paid timed research takeover pretty much happened a long time ago. This hasn't changed. We're still seeing every single event. There's usually either a $2 or $5 USD paid timed research. You can go ahead and buy and get access to a couple of exclusive things. You know, nothing's changed here. I don't really see them changing there because it's just like a monetization practice. Again, the only thing I would hope from this paid timed research that would change is the fact that it's not timed. I think it's completely stupid, in my opinion, that you pay for something and then it just disappears if you just forget to log in. But it is what it is. Anyway, rotating raids and consistent events. We've seen this. This is the same thing. That hasn't changed. We still see raid bosses happen for like a week and a half or so. We still see events happen for a week. Now, have the events changed drastically? I would argue no. Most events are still featuring research, featuring spawns, featuring raids, featuring bonuses. Like, the overall day-to-day of Pokemon Go hasn't changed that much. The daily gameplay is very similar. I will point out there's no overlay ads. We haven't seen ads and watch this ad to play this game. There really hasn't been any advertising come to Pokemon Go, and I don't really think that it's in Scopely's best interest to ever add that, because I think it would just completely ruin the gameplay experience. So we'll most likely see if they really want to monetize aggressively, because one thing I didn't mention earlier, but like Scopely paid a lot for Pokemon Go. They paid a lot for this whole Niantic game section, so they might want to make their money back, right? So it's going to be interesting to see if they're more aggressive with their monetization to make money back. And will events get more and more expensive? You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm going to say right now. I think right now, events aren't more expensive than they were under Niantic, except for the Max Finale event. I think that's where people felt like things really changed, because that event was so expensive. But then if you look after the Max Finale event, like we just had, like the Steel Skyline event is going down right now. It's a pretty classic Pokemon Go event that hasn't really changed just because it's under Scopely. Like, we saw, like, I guess Duraludon being released only to max battles and being 800 max particles. Little bit aggressive on the monetization because it's pretty expensive to get a tier 4 max battle boss. But like, what was the event before that? Why am I blanking on what events has happened? The completely normal event. That was a pretty normal Pokemon Go event. So other than the Max Finale event, I feel like the day-to-day has stayed the same from what I see. Remote raid pass prices have stayed the same. Most prices in the shop have stayed the same. I don't think anything's really happened, except we've had probably maybe more boxes, so better deals, I guess you could say. And then the wild spawns this year are overall the same. There's I guess they have done the thing. I guess something new that happened this season was they're changing the eggs every single month. But I think that's just a good thing, that the eggs are not staying the same for 3 months. They actually change monthly. pretty cool. But other than that, like the seasonal bonuses are coming back. We have the trade bonuses. Honestly, W for the trade Sundays. I think that's a great feature. Doesn't even make Niantic any or doesn't make Scopely any money, but I think that's just like a plus overall. I think I've been enjoying the Sunday trade days. Let me know if you're enjoying them. Oh, look, the security guy's back. But I'm in a good parking spot now. Anyway, so this is it. This is what I want to say about this. After explaining my whole perspective, after explaining how I see everything, what I think is that Scopely is actually not more focused, or like Pokemon Go under Scopely is not more focused on making more money directly. They're more focused on increasing play activity through incentives and different ways to get people to put in more effort so that they play the game longer, which I think Scopely hopes in the end they're gonna go ahead and make more money off of those people. I guess they're like trying to create more whales, aka people who spend a lot of money on Pokemon Go. So why I say this is a couple things. Number one, the Go Pass. They're changing it to add more things that are incentive to free-to-play players, aka Pokecoins. So people who don't really spend a lot of money on Pokemon Go are gonna now start to collect Pokecoins, and then maybe now they have Pokecoins, they're gonna like learn the habit of spending money. Number two, locking bonuses. Locking bonuses to forcing people to play is gonna force people to get out there if they wanna maximize on Pokemon Go. I think, for me, when it comes to the science of marketing and it comes to the science of this game, the number one thing I think is that this game, for how I've spent the most money on this game, and I think how a lot of people, is when this game becomes a habit, that's when you make a lot of money off of people. So I think that what Scopely is trying to do is to create a habit in people who don't already play Pokemon Go daily, where they're gonna start playing Pokemon Go daily. And how it works, and at least how I understand human psychology, is that you're not gonna go out and buy a new game and then instantly spend money on it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna download Pokemon Go, you're gonna start to play it, maybe once a week, maybe whatever. Then you're gonna see, oh, I have to do this and this to unlock this bonus. So you're gonna slowly play it. And I think Pokemon Go by nature is an addictive game. The collection, the getting the Pokedex entries, the level 80 update, you're gonna be leveling up more frequently. So you're gonna be getting addicted more quickly, I guess you could say. Or people are gonna be getting addicted more quickly is what Scopely hopes. Once you're playing it every single day, that's when the idea in your mind, now obviously like people are like can make their own decisions, but the idea in your mind of spending a little bit of money to go a little bit further is going to become less and less scary. It's going to become less and less like, I don't want to say like obscene, but like you'll be more willing to do it, if that makes sense. And I think this is a very common thing, you know what I mean? Like people will play Pokemon Go, and yes, they don't spend money every single day, but hey, Go Fest comes around and there's a $15 ticket to get this amazing event experience. If you've been playing Pokemon Go for a year, that might not seem like a lot of money, right? A lot of people see it and they're like, oh, like that's just like going to the movie theater and all that stuff. So they're gonna go ahead and spend that money. And I think that's what Scopely is trying to do. They're trying to build more play, like the longer somebody plays the game, the higher chance they have of spending money. So what they're trying to do is incentivize people to keep playing the game. And that's why they're hiding the wild spawns. So people go out and have to find out the wild spawns. That's why they're locking bonuses behind the Go Pass tier reward. So people have to go out and play to get Go points to unlock the bonuses. And I think this is the direction that Scopely is more gonna take. It's gonna be less, hey, we're putting an ad in front of you, we're putting this to make money, and it's gonna be more relying on the player base to recoup their money by getting more people to spend more money on the game, by getting them to play more. And it makes sense. At the end of the day, the longer you play something, the higher chance you have of spending money on said thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're never gonna buy this is a random reference to make, and I don't know if this makes sense at all, but like, you're never gonna buy somebody you just met or you have only known for a short period of time lunch if they forget their wallet. But if that's a friend that you've been friends with for a year, 2 years, and they forget their wallet, you'll 100% be like, oh, I got you. I'll get you lunch. No problem. You don't have to pay me back, because you have trust. And at the end of the day, it's about trust. And I think the more that Scopely gets people to play Pokemon Go, and especially, and when I say this, play Pokemon Go with a good experience specifically, I'm not just gonna say like, if Scopely gets people to play Pokemon Go and discover the game and all that stuff, but then the play experience is bad, this is going to totally backfire. For example, like if they get into the game and they're getting ads, or they're not getting shinies, or they're just not enjoying the way the game is made, and and the game design is bad, things are locked behind paid features, and they can't access the game, there's a much smaller chance that they spend money on the game. But if they go and they play it and Pokemon Go is the game they like, which I think Pokemon Go is one of the best games there is. Like, don't get me wrong, has a lot of flaws, but it's a game that gets you outside. It's a game that's unique. It has like 0 competitors. It gives you a unique gameplay experience. It makes you meet people. It's fun, it's exciting, it's engaging. It gets you engaging with, like, I think it's a great game. And as long as people play the game and don't have to spend money on the game and get an enjoyable experience, that will get people to play more, which will lead them to spend more. And I think that's what Scopely wants. And that's kind of how I see the game going. Now, maybe this is just a theory. It could be completely wrong. Maybe Scopely are greedy and they're just going to, like, you know, slowly, like I mentioned before, change the Pokemon Go team. And we're going to slowly see more aggressive monetization practices. But only time will tell for that, right? Only time will tell. And yes, we did see the Max Finale event. And maybe I'm just looking at it with rose-colored glasses, but I do think the Max Finale event was planned under the Niantic umbrella. It was planned, usually Go Fest are planned months in advance, so I do not think that was Scopely's doing, even though Scopely technically owned Pokemon Go at that point. And I guess I'll leave my judgment for the wild area. It does get me thinking, actually. I was looking at the wild area this year and the wild area last year, and this year looks better. They actually are giving us more bonuses for free. It's not a big difference, but you actually get 6 free raid passes this year instead of 5. I know it's not a huge change at all. But if you actually compare, like, go in and compare Wild Area 2024 to Wild Area 2025, the free bonuses without spending any money, the bonuses are better this year. Anyway, and for paid as well, but that's not a really good way to look at it. Anyway, that's how I see it. Let me know how you see it, guys. Let me know what you think of Scopely and their takeover of Pokemon Go. Where do you see the game going? I will say this, like, right now. Well, I don't know. This is the hard part about the game. This is the hard part about this saying, is that, like, if you want to ask my opinion on what I just talked about, on the fact that Scopely is trying to incentivize people to play the game more by locking things behind effort, I don't know if I like it or not, because how my brain works is, like, in the long term, it makes sense for the health of Pokemon Go if they do this, because there will be a player base that plays for longer, that is more incentivized. But then also in my head, I'm like, I just want to get the stuff for free, you know? I just want to get these bonuses for free. That's the whole point of the event. So, like, I don't know if I have a full opinion. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I don't like it. But that's just, I guess, how I see it is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, this is correct. I'm just trying to explain to you guys how I see it. Because I don't know. Like, the problem is effort versus reward almost. There's like a saying, or there's like a test that they did out there where it was like, it was with ChatGPT, I think, but like there was 2 groups of people, or no, there's 3 groups of people. One person went in and had to write an essay just off of their brain. The second person got to study and then go in and write an essay off of their brain. And then the third group went in and just got to use ChatGPT to write an essay. And the first group that went in with their own brain, and the group that studied, felt a lot more like happiness and success, or like, I don't know, like they felt a lot more connected to the piece of work they just made. And it just goes to show like the correlation between effort and enjoyment almost, you know what I mean? Like there's the saying, but like nothing worth it in life is easy. So when I think of like Scopely locking bonuses behind the Go Pass, I'm like, okay, well, that's annoying because I would rather just have those bonuses and just go play. But then also it's like, well, if I have to work for those bonuses and those bonuses ends up being better, maybe I'll just get an overall better enjoyment. And, you know, like, that's just a test that I never know which one is going to be right, because I understand that, like, to get enjoyment, because I understand this. I'm just yapping completely right now. But, like, if everything in Pokemon Go was just given to us for free, and, like, I've talked about this before, but like if everything was just given to us for free and it was like, hey, oh, you're getting 4 times this and 4 times that during this event and all this stuff. And it's just like super easy. You're just gonna not want to play because you already have everything. Sorry, I'm speaking too quick, but like, if everybody is super, nobody is super is kind of what I'm saying. I've talked about this 1,000 times. But the question is, where's that line, right? Where's that line where Scopely says, hey, you have to work towards unlocking these bonuses, and will that motivate people to play? Or would people be more motivated if the bonuses were just given to us and then they get to just go play with those bonuses flat out? I would argue that maybe the left side would be better, because then you're working towards unlocking the bonuses, but then you actually want to play with the bonuses too, and it's just like, maybe at that point it just becomes unrealistic because people have lives. But I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just yapping. The yap session, we've yapped it up. I don't really have much else to say. Let me know in the comments, though, what you think about this, what you think about the Scopely thing. If your opinion is completely different from mine, let me know. Please let me know nicely, though. Again, at the end of the day, we can all have different opinions, and I'd be curious to hear yours in a kind, respectful manner, please. Don't call me an idiot, because I'm not an idiot. Sometimes I am, actually. Everybody's an idiot sometimes. Anyway, that's it. We'll have to find out what the balance ends up being, and we'll have to wait and see where things go. Because at the end of the day, it's only been 2 months, in my opinion, under Scopely's umbrella. Fall season is the first true Scopely design gameplay. So we'll have to see where things go. I'm very curious to see the wild area and what we get from that, because that will be, I think, a big telling, because Scopely will have been running the company for a while by then. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, watch the other video on screen if you enjoyed this one. More yaps here to listen into. And yeah, we'll catch you guys all. I'm going to climb over this table next Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Peace.